everyone. Today we are going to hear from Ken Ellsworth, founder of Keystone Associates, about his job as a civil engineer.
I founded the firm in 1990, and it's gone through a number of progressions since then. But career path was obviously high school, Windsor, and emphasis was sports. So I was focused on that, and I was going to play football somewhere. So this career was not even thought about. So injury happened senior year, which made me think about a couple things, and I started thinking about what do I want to do. So the main reason that got me into the civil engineering was they could work outside, and I didn't want to be inside. So I thought, okay, well, there's a career for me. Went to the guidance office not knowing anything and said, okay, sign me up. Well, where do you go to school for this, and what do they do? Decided on Syracuse. It was the closest one. That was that reasoning. There was no other deep thought process, and finished up there and went to work for Hawk Engineering, which was a local firm, and spent 5 years there as you're required to get your license in engineering, and then started the firm. Once you got to Syracuse, it still was even a little big because you start out with all of the basic classes, the math and the physics and stuff like that, and still really didn't have a good clue. And then I got a job with the DOT in the summer, and so we went out, and my first job was locally, and they were doing the Revere Street Bridge and the bridge over by Frito-Lay. And so I spent the summer on those bridge decks, learning what was happening with these bridges, testing concrete and soil. So that was the first introduction, was from DOT. So that's another good option for people when they get into the career, is to look for those jobs, shadow people, or have an opportunity to work on a summer job. The big thing is give yourself a chance to learn what you're trying to do, and don't automatically think it's too hard. Because if I honestly knew what I was going to have to do and all the different classes that were involved, especially the math and the science and the physics, I would have thought, boy, that's way too hard, right? I don't think I can do that. But luckily for me, I was naive enough to not even know what was coming. So I would assume students may be more proactive in their planning. So as they're looking for, what the curriculum might be in engineering, there's math, but it's not insurmountable. And give yourself a chance to learn it, and expect that you can do it, and have the confidence that you can do it. Because I saw a lot of people kind of fail out of the program because they lack the confidence to just keep going. And if they, you're going to have some hard classes, you just have to go through them. And if you got to take a class again, you take the class again. If you had looked in advance and there was 5 calculus classes, advanced calc, there was no way at high school I would say, I'm going there. So don't worry about that stuff too far in advance. You'll get there, and they'll help you along the way. I just kind of cruised through high school. I didn't really have much trouble with it, and I know people do. It's all individual, but learning how to study was a real challenge, right? Because if you're doing okay in high school, you kind of cruise along, and then you get college, and it's a different animal, right? You got stuff that's being thrown at you quickly, and quickly you have to learn how to study. And I wish that there was something more to the studying part of high school that I could have understood and learned. Dedicate the time. I remember doing my homework before breakfast in the morning. It was just easier for me. So setting that time aside and planning when you're going to do it was the key thing for me. And everybody has to figure that out differently. How you learn, everybody learns differently. Just because you got a guy that has a photographic memory, which I did freshman year in school, drove me crazy. He would be out all night and come in the morning, flip through his physics book like this, and then go ace the test because he memorized everything on the pages. I don't know how he's doing now, but it drove me crazy. I had to plan my study time, from this hour to this hour. You have to set that time aside. Everybody has things that they don't want to do, and like anybody else, we all love to procrastinate, especially the things we don't want to do. So I force myself, just like studying, which nobody really wanted to study, I'm being honest, and say, okay, from today at 3 to 4, I have to deal with this issue that I don't want to deal with, or this problem, or do this report, and that's when you have to do it. People skills, more so than technical skills. And that's the part that I didn't understand either back then. I thought you had to be the most knowledgeable, sharpest pencil in the box. You don't have to be. You have to be relatable. You have to be able to put yourself in the other person's place, whether that be an employee or the client, and try to communicate. Communicate is the key thing. That's something that I had to learn to work with and work on. I thought I could just do my thing and not have to interface with anything back in the beginning when I started this. And, that's not the case. So more people want to know, do I understand what they're telling me and can I help them, than how I'm going to design this next piece for them. People skills are a big deal, and everybody can work on it. It's communication again. It's working with the people here in the office, coordinating the jobs that are here, getting people assigned to the right places, helping those people do their jobs, explain some of the details and make sure they're on track. Again, most of it's like a puzzle, trying to figure it out and making sure everything works together. You can be a civil engineer and just do bridges, if that's what you like. You can be a civil engineer that specializes in structural engineering, that holds buildings up or does bridges as well. You can be a civil engineer and just do hydrology and hydraulics, which is the flow of water and water storage and green infrastructure practices for stormwater and stuff like that. You can be a civil engineer and do municipal engineering, water and sewer. You can do treatment plants, if that's what you like. So it's a wide open field that you can have a variety of things that you like to do and focus on those, or do all of them.